So now on the next page it says, what will happen to the mean if the outlier of 100 is taken out of the data set? So here we're going to talk about outliers, okay, because that's the word in this problem that we don't really know yet. We don't understand what an outlier is. So right at the top here, let's define outlier. So an outlier is a number that does not fit with the rest of the data. And then in parentheses, I'm going to write stands out. So this is a number that kind of doesn't fit with the rest. Which one's not like the other kind of thing, okay? So you're going to have all these numbers that look very similar to each other and then one number that just doesn't fit, okay? So here it's telling you that the outlier is 100, okay? We can see that 45, 40, 35, 35, they're all very close between 35 and 45 except for this number 100. It's very, very, very big. So that is considered our outlier because it doesn't fit in with the rest of the numbers. So it wants to know what's going to happen to the mean if the outlier is taken out. And now what I like to do is I like to either underline or highlight which measure of central tendency that we are talking about so that I know what measure of central tendency I need to use. So it wants us to find the mean. So we want to know what's going to happen to the mean if it's taken out of the data set. So we need to find the mean with the 100. And then we need to find the mean without the 100 and see what is the difference between the two values. So if we were finding the mean with the 100, we're going to add up all those numbers together. 45, 40, 100, 35, and 35. And we get 255 divided by 5 because there's 5 numbers. And we get 51. Now we're going to take the 100 out of the data set, so we're only going to use these 4 numbers, and we're going to find the mean of those. So 45, 40, 35, and 35 gives us 155. And this time there was only 4 numbers that we added together, so we're going to divide it by 4. And we get 38 point, and we can round this. 5 rounds that 7 up to an 8. We could just say 38.8. So what is happening to the data set? What happened to the mean when we took out that point of 100? Here is with 100, here is without 100. So we can see that it was 51 and it went down to 38.8. So we can say your mean decreased because it went down by, and let's figure out how much it went down. 51 minus 38.8 is 12.2. So our answer would be our mean decreased by 12.2. Question number 2 says, Charlotte wanted to know how many minutes per hour a radio station typically plays music. She collected the following data from 7 radio stations. By how many minutes would her median time change if she added another radio station playing 42 minutes? So we can see that we're talking about the median, and the median means the middle number. So the first thing we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to put these numbers in order so that we can find the middle number. So let's start by putting these in order. We have 35, 36, 36, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Median is the middle number. We want to know what is the difference, what is the time change if she added another radio station. So we need to find the median without, and this little abbreviation here is for without the extra 42 and then the median with the 42. Okay, and this means with, this means without, in case you don't know. So, without the 42, okay, the extra 42, this 42 minutes, not the one that was originally here. Start on the outside and work our way in, and we get a median of 39. Now we're going to take an extra 42, and I'm going to change a color here so that we can see the difference, okay, between the medians. Let's see if this color shows up nicely. Yep, I think it does. So now we're going to add on this extra 42 minutes here, and we're going to find the median now. So start on the outside and work our way in. And we can see that our median is falling in between 30 and 40. So in between 30 and 40, 39 plus 40, you can do this in your calculator if you want to. If you can't do it mentally, 39 plus 40 divided by 2 gives us 39.5. So here this median is 39.5. So now the question says, how many minutes would her time change? So we're going to take the 39 and the 39.5 and we're going to subtract them. We're going to figure it out. We're going from 39 to 39.5, so we know it increases 39.5 minus 39 is 0.5 minutes, because the unit that we're talking about is minutes. Question 3 says, George must make phone calls for his job. In order to be in compliance with the company's policy, he must average at least 24 calls per day. Calculate the number of calls that George must make on the last workday of the week in order for his call average to be at 24 calls per day. The number of calls made on the first 4 workdays of the week are shown. So we have our 4 days here. Now I'm going to put a nice big star next to this question here because you will definitely see this type of question again. They love to put these questions on all types of standardized testings. In the problem, it talks about he must average, call average. Average, we know to be mean. Mean is the same thing as average. That is the measure of central tendency we're using because he keeps talking about the average. So, there's 4 days here and there's 5 days in the work week. So to find the mean or the average, we're going to start by adding up all the days and dividing by however many days there are. So we have 16 plus 14 plus 20 and plus 24. These are the first 4 days of the work week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know how many calls he made on Friday, and so to represent something we do not know in math, we use the letter X. So I'm going to put a letter X here for Friday. Divided by how many days in the week? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? 5. At the end of the week, we want the average call to be 24, so we're going to set this equal to 24. So now what we need to do is solve this equation here for X to figure out how many calls he needs to make on the last day. X represents how many calls on the last day. So let's start by adding these 4 numbers together. 16 plus 14 plus 20 plus 24, and I get 74. So that means at the top of my fraction I have 74 plus X over 5 equals 24. I'm trying to get X by itself here, and X is at the top of the fraction. So this says 74 plus X divided by 5. So if I'm trying to get rid of a divided by 5, I need to multiply both sides by 5. And I'm going to continue my work up here. So on the left side, I just have the 74 plus X equals 24 times 5, which gives me 120. And to get x by itself, we're going to subtract 74 on both sides. (120 minus 74 equals 46). So x equals 46, so that means that he has to make 46 calls on Friday. Oops, cut that off there. Question number 4 says the Faves, a basketball team in a small town, has only 5 players. The heights of the players in centimeters are 190, 196, 195, 190, and 205. If the 2 tallest players grow 10%, how would the median height of the team be affected by their growth? So, median is the measure of central tendency that we're using. We know with median, our points need to be in order. So let's write these in order. 190, 190, 195, 196, 205. It says if the 2 tallest players grow 10%, okay, so here are the 2 tallest players, they're going to grow 10%. So these 2 numbers are going to be bigger. So this is going to be a bigger number, and this is going to be a bigger number. Watch what's going to happen here. If I find the median of the first row here, okay, of the original numbers, the median number is 195. If these 2 numbers are increased and they just get bigger, what's going to happen to the median? Well, look at that. It's still 195. That's why I didn't solve these 2 to figure out what the 2 values were, because I know the middle number is still 195. So our middle number never changed. So how would the median be affected? It will not be affected. So our answer will be, it will not be affected.